I really love using history as a stepping stone in writing because I think our world is weird. And I don't think we kind of play with that weirdness enough.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
I think a lot of it's like with grimdark stuff. People are always saying, but that's unrealistically dark. And it's like, well, I don't know. Have you read Russian history?
Yeah.
Because,
Watch Rogan.
yeah. So, there's a lot of reality that you can use. And I think what I did with that book specifically was I kept the entire time in my mind, I thought about the idea was oil, using oil as magic. Oil is magic. And so that kind of became my through line. And that was where, the history and the fantasy could get married, really. And it's the same with writing a lot of different things. As long as you have that central thematic pole that you can kind of twirl your stuff around, it just makes it a lot easier to balance things. So once you figure out, say, if you want to write a book with like magic soldiers or something, then you've got to figure out, you know, maybe their weapons are what's magical, and that's your through line, right? That's where you're going to marry your soldiers to the magic right there. That's your reality and your so for me, with history and fantasy, with drafting your way through this weird wedding scene you can't get through, for literally anything, it's usually just a matter of, as long as you figure out your thematic middle that you need to have shining through it. So for me, it was oil is magic, and it was really easy for me to see which parts of reality I needed to bolster the fantasy.
Yeah.
But without that central theme there, it was a lot harder for me to figure it out. So for me, with writing, with drafting, with editing, it's always figuring out the central theme of whatever it is that I'm working with. And then the pieces usually fall into place around that.
Let's
I
see.
don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it makes total sense. I had to like change my urban fantasy, like the universe's name because somebody already used it. But I was just thinking like, like Weird Tales has already been a thing, and I was like, oh, Weird Universe, somebody stole that. I went with something different. I hope nobody steals that. I went with like the Elsewhere, because I have like beings and things like where the Fae come from, right? Like I have everything coming like fires, giants, orcs, whatever. They're not all the same, but it's like they're where the legends come from for my world. So I was like, oh, like because I thought, right, like R. Birdie and I talked quite a bit about like where do stories originate from, right, and then how do they change and spread. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool concept. So I kind of like took that. So for me, it was like, where's the weird? So every time there's a Facebook reel that's like kind of funky, where it has some history or mythology or something. There's like these three knights that allegedly in the Crusade, uh, like literally like are immortal now, and then like did some not good stuff, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, like that's weird. And then some people are like, oh, what if the Aztecs were vampires and that's why they had so much dead? And I was like, a vampire huntress would be really cool coming from an ancient vampire clan, or like tribe or whatever, and from Mesoamerica. And anytime there's like weird, I save it on Facebook or TikTok, and I'm like, if it's unexplained or weird, that's kind of my thing, right? And that's how I'm like slowly like building up more and more of the world. So I didn't realize I was going with a theme until you just said it, but that made total sense because I want something that piques people's interest, right, and kind of goes from
yeah.
there. And I'm trying to explain it, right, like through the world building and characters and stories. So I think that makes total sense. So I appreciate you telling me
Awesome.
what I've been doing. I didn't even realize that. I think
There you go.
it's so funny because people always ask me like, "What do you learn?" I'm like, half the time I learn what I've been doing the whole time. I'm like, yeah, I don't really think about it sometimes, right? But I think now
Yeah.
that now you pointed out, I'm like, oh, that actually makes sense. I think that would allow me to, um, do a better job at it, because now I'm kind of more conscious, and cognizant of it. So I think that's really cool. Well, that's awesome. I cannot wait to explore more of the book and the world and see how you've used oil as magic. It's such a cool concept.